Microphone check. Belize, wake up Belize. Another day is here. Wake up Belize, wake up Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up Belize, wake up Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up Belize, wake up Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself, this is a show, my people. Believe our hopes, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, it's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution, yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes, WB. And all the things that we feel happen under God blue skies. And nothing make people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize, wake up Belize. Another day is here. Wake up Belize, wake up Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up Belize, wake up Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up Belize, wake up Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play your role, get where you need to. Look and tune in from work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait? It's a time calling. It's a show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. WB. Wake up Belize, wake up Belize. Another day is here. Wake up Belize, wake up Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up Belize, wake up Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up Belize, wake up Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself, this is a show, my people. Believe our hopes, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, it's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution, yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes, WB. And all the things that we feel happen under God blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up Belize, wake up Belize. Another day is here. Wake up Belize, wake up Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up Belize, wake up Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up Belize, wake up Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB.
Good morning, Belize. Welcome to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes for today, Tuesday, the 1st of December. Wherever you are, we hope that your Tuesday morning is getting off to a beautiful start, and we want to welcome you to Belize's premier morning conversation. We hope you have excellent health this morning. We hope your energy is high, your vibrations are positive, and that your morning is big enough for us to be a part of it. That is usually what we try to accomplish weekday mornings. With this conversation, it's all about getting you on board, getting you to participate, hearing your input, your views, your thoughts. But before we get there, of course, we have to got good manners, and we've got to welcome you to our house. We've got to welcome all our listeners, our viewers, everybody online, those getting us via app and those getting us via simulcast coverage. Of course, you're wondering, well, what's happening? I'm not in the studio. And so let me start off with that explanation. We've had to go remote here for a bit. We know where we are as a country and as a community. We know what we're facing. And so we are not immune to any of that. And yesterday, we got the news that one of our television colleagues, teammates, co-worker, tested positive for COVID, so we had to do all that we needed to do in abundance of caution. You know, we had to get everybody tested, and we had to do the whole sanitizing. And so as a part of that, we are broadcasting remotely this morning. We prefer to be in the studio, of course, but the times that we are living in, this is what we have to do. And so this morning I am broadcasting remotely. I'm not in the studio, and so you'll see it looking as it looked in the first couple of months of the pandemic, because this was kind of like our setup. And so with that said, it's still going to be WB. We're still going to flow the way we flow for the most part. There's a lot of moving parts here, so I've got to try to to manage that, and so we might have a little hiccup here or there. But for the most part, we're looking forward to having a conversation that is similar to the one that we would be having if I was not coming to you remotely. And so this is the way we begin December, Belize. We start off with a remote transmission of Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. I'm Mozide, and we shall proceed with what we call around here the preliminaries, and that means that we are going to get you up to date with the latest weather forecast. We got we've got to somebody says the audio is not coming in properly, so we've got to try to fix that. And as soon as we get that fixed, okay, somebody says it's fixed, so that is good. Sorry about the bad audio. Like I said, we will have a little hiccup here or there, right? It was an early disclaimer that we would be having a little. Hopefully, we don't have it once we get into the main event. But right now, we've got to serve up to you the weather forecast this morning, and that comes from the National Met Service. And according to the Met, let us look at it. We've got the National Met Service says here that windy and cool conditions prevail in the wake of a cold front that crossed the country last night. The 24-hour forecast is for cloudy, windy, and cool weather with periods of light rain, mainly offshore, over the south and along some coastal areas. As for marine conditions, winds will be northerly to northwesterly at 15 to 25 knots. It will be gusty. Seas will be rough. Waves of about 6 to 8 feet in height. Looking at the temperatures along the coast today, expect a high of 77 degrees Fahrenheit or 25 degrees Celsius with an overnight low of 70 degrees Fahrenheit or 21 degrees Celsius. Inland, a high of 77 degrees Fahrenheit or 25 degrees Celsius with an overnight low of 63 degrees Fahrenheit or 17 degrees Celsius. A flood warning remains in effect for communities near rivers, streams, creeks, and waterways in central and western parts of the country. Small craft warning is in effect for gusty winds and rough seas. Operators of small crafts should remain in safe harbor. The outlook for Wednesday and Wednesday night is for mostly cloudy skies, few showers, and some periods of rain across the country. And that is your general weather forecast this morning, Belize. At this point in time, we bring you the morning news update. Residents from the border village of San Vicente in the Toledo district, according to the Compol, are said to be charged for quarantine violations after a confrontation Sunday evening with soldiers said to be enforcing quarantine regulations. We begin first with what was shared by the Commissioner of Police.
Yesterday, in the late evening, there was some issue in the village between the elements of the BDF and some villagers, which resulted in the villagers saying that they wanted the BDF out of the village. Based on that, the police were deployed to avoid any standoff between the villagers and the members of the Belize Defense Force, who I must say did not leave, and under no circumstances should the BDF have left. That would have shown sign of weakness. And so we sent police officers into the area, and based on that, a number of persons were spoken to, some were detained, and we expect that charges will be filed against some of them today.
Sir, why did they want the BDF out of the village?
Well, you know, some people just want to have their way, and because the BDF intervened in whatever was taking place, they got uptight and said they want the BDF out.
Any meeting happening today? I understand the alcalde is involved.
Well, the alcalde himself will be brought in today by the police. He has some questions to answer because he was a part of what took place, and then we'll see how we go from there.
Any charges? Anyone can be charged in this case, sir?
As I said, some people are detained and will be charged.
For what exactly?
failure to adhere to social distancing.
Sir, is this indicative of the increasingly complicated climate for law enforcement in general? Because you know the state we're in with COVID and all these regulations on regular social interactions make people extremely impatient and irascible.
Well, that could be the case, but at the end of the day, we must all understand that we're all in this together. And the police, as well as the BDF and Coast Guard in some instances, do have a job to do. Yes, as the primary law enforcement agency, the police are the frontline people per se when it comes to law enforcement. But we do get assistance from the BDF from time to time, and when that do occurs, then they have a job to do. And regardless of how frustrated we may be with the entire climate that we are currently living in, we must still understand that law and order must prevail. And I don't think that anybody is more frustrated than the police per se, because we have so much that we have to deal with. And despite that, we have to maintain a certain level of professionalism in how we discharge our duties and functions.
One called spokesperson for the village chairman shared a different version of events.
There was a football foot going on among 6 young people in the field at the moment when the BDF soldiers approached these young individuals per 19 prevention regulations. So they confiscated the ball and dispersed the crowd, and then the young people were sent home. The chairman witnessed all of this. So please take note that the alcaldes and the chairman are fully enforcing and in support of enforcing every COVID-19 regulations. What happened is that after the BDF confiscated the ball, he just went back to the community center where the BDF were stationed to get back the ball. No need for them to confiscate the ball. The ball should have been returned back and disperse the crowd. But when the chairman approached the BDF on this issue on returning the ball and to ask what is going on, any update, that is when the BDF responded in high tone to the village chairman. And when the chairman noticed that they were responding him in high tone, he noticed that they were under the influence of liquor that they were drinking. So the chairman's concern was that that they are frontline workers, they are our border securities, and why is it that they are on duty doing their job and under the liquor and under the influence of liquor? That was his concern. So what he shared with me is that he raised this to them and brought it to their attention, and this is what the soldiers didn't like. It went to a heated conversation where they physically assaulted the chairman himself and dragged him through the floor, as he described it to me.
Cal says community members started to gather around and approach a small group of soldiers who they also accused of purchasing liquor across the border in Guatemala. According to Cal, the soldiers were allowed at the community center as a show of appreciation since they have no stationary base. He added that given this event, that courtesy is being suspended until confidence is restored. A discussion is being had with the leadership of the BDF. New quarantine measures came into force on Friday last at midnight on the Statutory Instrument 170 of 2020. These measures included a curfew set to last for 3 weeks, prohibition of contact sports, closure of entertainment businesses, among others. The Commissioner of Police indicated that about 60 persons were arrested and charged over the weekend for violation of the regulations.
New quarantine regulations is nothing new to us. We have dealt with these measures before under previous SOE. And so the police were ready. Over the weekend, we had a number of persons who were arrested for breach of curfew. And I would just want to, again, appeal to our Belizean people to understand that the reason for the quarantine regulation is for all of our protection. And for us to adhere by it, we're still seeing people having parties here, there, and everywhere. We're still seeing some places want to open despite they should be closed. We're still seeing people gathering in large numbers. We're still seeing people walking around without a mask or with a mask improperly worn. These are things that we need to stop. If it is that we want to slow down the spread of this virus, then we must ensure we adhere to the health protocol as can be listed in the quarantine regulation.
Now, you said a number of arrests for quarantine violations. How many?
It is less than 100. It's not the large amount that we normally have. I think it would be somewhere around 60 persons who were arrested over the weekend for breach of curfew.
And just for the, just to clarify for the public, a lot of people were very unclear about the time of the curfew. It was announced 9 and then we saw the SI about at 10. Are you able to update us why that time was extended?
Well, I guess people were relying on the press release that the Ministry of Health had issued prior to the SI coming into force. And I believe that after the Ministry of Health press release, there was some change. And when the law actually came out, which is the regulation, it says 10 p.m. And so we do not enforce the press release, we enforce the law. And the SI signed by the minister is the law. And so the time for quarantine is 10 and not 9.
Last week, we told you about the Belize Police Department's struggle to meet deployment requirements in the face of the increasing number of infections among officers. At last check, the number was at 224. Yesterday, the Commissioner confirmed that the number has increased to over 300 officers who are now off the job due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Ministry of Health has offered rapid testing for the department, and according to Williams, his political bosses at the Ministry of Home Affairs are working on sourcing more human resources to fill the gap in the interim.
Extremely frustrating for us. We are significantly down. Last week we were down by over 200 officers, and this week we're down by over 300 officers. So our numbers continue to climb, but despite that, we understand we have a mandate to the people, and we try our utmost best to fulfill that mandate despite the fact that our human resources is very short. I know that our ministry, in conjunction with the Ministry of Finance, is doing their utmost best to see how they can replenish some of our numbers. So we are hopeful that within the next few months, we'll see an increase in our human resources.
However, looking at it, sir, the rapid testing started for police, at least I know in Eastern Division, on Saturday. Are you able to say what came out of that?
Yes, on Saturday we did rapid testing at Central Region, and a total of 74 officers were tested. Of those 74 tested, 12 were positive. And even those who were negative, they were told that they still need to do the PCR test, as the rapid test can give some false negative, something of that sort. So those officers who were negative still did the PCR, and we await the result of the PCR.
So that rapid testing is going to be rolled out for the rest of the country?
Well, of course, yes. It is available at, I think, all the head regions for health, which is Southern Region, Western Region, Northern Region, and Belize City at Cleopatra. And through the Minister of Health, I spoke to him personally. He have agreed to have our officers tested at these different locations. And whenever we need to get them tested, we just need to contact the health region coordinator for them, and then they will arrange a test for us. So that is what we are doing.
Resurgent gang warfare in the Lake Independence area of Belize City has forced the hand of the police department to deploy more boots on the ground and to heavily police the area. And over the weekend, there was relative calm. The commissioner said he, along with his intervention team, were on the ground speaking with members from the warring factions.
It has been extremely tense. Over the weekend, myself, Brother Nuri, and Ms. Westby, we spent our time in the St. Martin's area working with the different factions with a view to quell the ongoing situation there. We have some peace over the weekend, I must say, and we are going to continue doing what we are doing with a view to see how we can continue to keep the peace in that area. We know that there are extremely strong tensions between the different groups, and it will require a lot of work for us to be able to bring things back to normalcy. But we're not going to give up. We're going to continue to do what we can, because at the end of the day, whenever these young men are killed, there is always a number of persons who are left behind grieving that do love them. And so I personally, I'm sure I can speak on behalf of Brother Nuri and Ms. Westby. We're tired of seeing mothers crying on TV. We're tired of seeing siblings crying. We're tired of seeing girlfriends or wives crying on TV for having lost their loved ones. So whatever it is that we can do to save these youths from themselves, we're going to do.
So you know I'm a Chester Williams historian. Is this another change of tack for you in terms of, famously, you were doing such awesome work at Eastern Division as a mediator, and then you became compelled, and then you took a harder line, you called them animals. You said if you act like animals, we'll have to treat you like that. But now I'm seeing that the mediator is coming back. Blessed are the peacemakers, sir.
Jules, do you have a dog?
I do, sir.
A dog is an animal, right?
Yes, sir.
Does a dog always act out?
Not
And
every time.
don't we have animals that behave very, very good? So to say that someone act like animal does not mean you're acting bad. Sometimes animals act better than some of us. Yeah? So sometimes to say act like animal could be a compliment. It's how you want to take it.
You didn't say it
But-
was a compliment.
Well, I didn't say it was not either, right? So at the end of the day, I still believe that when the police can be a part of a process to bring people together, we must be a part of that process. When it is that we are to pull the whip and be stern, we must be stern, because there are some people that no level of talking is going to change them. And we must ensure that we have some system in place that guarantees our law-abiding citizens that once the criminals act out, that we are going to deal with them. So I still have that firm belief of tough policing, and I have that firm belief of soft policing. We have to find a way to strike a balance and when to apply either of them.
And with that, we end the morning news update. We take a small break, and then we're going to come back to get the conversation started here inside the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, broadcasting remotely this morning. We break, and then we get back to you. I have my audio muted, so let me just quickly. It's one of the things that happens, man. It's just what you'd say, different things I'm trying to do at the same time, and so I think we have the audio. What I was saying is that we are operating remotely, and we are operating remotely because we're having some problems with the pandemic. As so many people, man, I don't know what the problem is now. I don't know what the problem is now. Oh boy. All right, so I hope that everything is working. It's kind of, I have to be in touch with my team over there, and we're trying to figure it out. Hopefully, I am streaming again. Yeah, so I've tried to say a couple of times now, and it's kind of obvious to you if you're in tune, is that we're broadcasting remotely, and we're doing so because one of our team members at the television tested positive for COVID yesterday morning, and so that kind of sent us scrambling a bit, trying to make sure that our team got tested and all the things you need to do. And so that is the reason this morning we are coming to you. All right, thank you very much, Jada. I needed to get that. So everything is okay, and it's just first time back remotely, and so we have a little bit of rust that we have to contend with. But we are, I think we are back in the saddle properly this morning, and the one little thing we've got to do is to get David on. David is going to be joining us this morning. We want to wish our brother all the best. I don't really want to put the man out there like that, but thankfully none of our other people were positive, and so that's good. And none of his family tested positive, so that again, that was double great news, and we are confident that he's going to be okay. And we're hoping, praying for the best, that everything is going to be okay for sure. So like many people, the COVID is not a long distance reality. It's something that is right beside you, and you have to deal with that. And sort of abundance of caution, we are coming to you remotely this morning, and because of this, we are inviting you to call us. I have to use my cell phone as kind of like the bridge, because we don't want to be without your participation. That is essential for us. So no matter where it is or how it is we are bringing the show to you, we try our best to make sure that you can get in, because it's not the same when you can't. It's not the same when we don't get you on. We love it, and in fact, it is the primary ingredient of this whole thing you got going on that we call WUB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. My cell phone number is 672-4770. I'll have to try to put that up on the screen somehow, so that folks can see that, and maybe you can put that up for me, Jada, on the television station. That the telephone number where you can get in is 672-4770. That is the line, and that's right here on my cell phone, and I get you in, and we put you on, and that's the way it works. Okay. We until we get somebody on, no, I'm not afraid for call, because a cell, I guess, is going to be a bit it's going to cost a bit more when you're calling a cell for you to get in, but we still want to hear from. We know that it's a struggle right now, but we hope that you will have some people who want to make the effort and, yes, make the investment, because it is an investment to call. We get that. Again, so thank you, Jada. The number is on the screen, I believe, so you can link us. 672 4770. That is the direct line for you to participate in the conversation. And we have our first call of the morning. Krem, good morning, WB.
Good morning, my brother from another mother.
Good morning, my brother. How is it going?
Well, everything all right so far, was the leave with that cold and chilly, but I just called you to tell Billy that for the morning and
Well, more than that, you keep your word, because yesterday I asked you to link with me and to make we know how it is going. I think this is a police officer that called us and explained to us that he is by himself. So it's kind of a struggle because he's actually been told he has to stay there. He can't come out. How is the feeling, first of all, the physical feeling?
mentally, yes, it take a toll on the mind, but the body, I ever have a cold. The cold is going on because of the medication I got. But what I want to say that to the public is that what is really burning here is the isolation part, Brother Moses, that quarantine, the full isolation. You cannot go anywhere, and that is what is different for the new norm. But I just want to hope and pray that the result comes negative so that I can quickly go back and do what I do best.
So you have not gotten your results as yet?
No, not as yet, but I have to wait until the result comes. Then that will tell me if I'm negative.
So what are they telling you insofar as results? Like I think you told us yesterday that it will be a week.
Yes, that will be a week from Saturday.
Wow.
So it's gonna. I will give it a good 8 days, and so within that 8 days, I will be told what result.
Well, it's critical. It's a critical thing that you're kind of being a teacher for many here, because it is when you are having these symptoms right here that you are most contagious. So even though you don't know you are positive, right? You don't get back your test as yet.
No,
What you are doing is critical for us to prevent the escalating spread of this virus.
Exactly my point, brother.
Because if you were to say to yourself, well, I don't know if I'm positive yet and I feel okay, I can at least sniffle or whatever, and let's say you were not a police officer. As a police officer, the department has you thankfully you get the time, so there is no, you're not like somebody who say let's say you sell fruits and veggies for a living, or you go and leave barber shop, or something where not being there means that you're not making any money. You understand?
Exactly.
And you have not been told you're positive as yet. So
no, not at all.
so you're there as somebody is going to, people are going to say to themselves, well, maybe I not got it and I need to go out, and it's at this point in time physically, if you are positive, that you would be most contagious. So I'm using you as kind of like a teaching tool. I hope you don't mind, for make people understand that if you are being tested and you are waiting for your results and you don't know, but you're having some symptoms and you might have been in contact with somebody, as much as you feel good enough to go, and you need to go because you got to get that food, understand, if you are positive, that you are going to be spreading that to a number of persons. So it's important for people to really appreciate that.
Exactly. It's all of our responsibility more to ensure that the virus doesn't spread. So I just used exactly the instruction that was given to me. You have to stay quarantined and you do not go in the public. And that is exactly what I'm doing here. Just like I said, but more than the isolation. You have to be with going to deep isolation. And that's probably what kills a lot of people, I guess. But other than that,
well, we might be getting I don't know, they're really looking at, they're looking to see whether or not I'm talking now about internationally, researchers are starting to feel that the 14 days is too long. That it's possible that it can be brought down. Now, that's not to say that that has been put in place as yet, and I don't want to confuse anybody. But it's just to say there is a possibility going forward that is going to be revisited, because every day there is something new that is learned about this coronavirus. So, and as they learn new things, then adjustments are made. So we can see how that go. But right now, to be on the safe side, I believe that's why we are up to that 14 days. And that kind of quarantine where you have to stay away from human contact, that can wear you down, especially if you are you're a person who thrives on social contact and that kind of thing.
That's all your life, exactly. That's the way you do all your life. You always deal with people and you always interact. So, but every day was, like I said, our responsibility to just go through the process and make the process work. I know that the police department overwhelmed when it comes to another officer's think, and now it's stretched very, very thin. And I just pray that will come quickly.
Do you think that?
So I could go back and work.
Do you think do you believe that the fact that so many police officers have become have tested positive for the coronavirus, thankfully we've not had any. I think we have had one police officer who has died that I know of. I think there's the young man from Corazal, I think, who died. So we are thankful for that. But my question would be, do you believe that this great number of officers who have tested positive, if it is that is it because, well, they are so exposed with the work, or do you think that some police officers have that kind of macho kind of feeling that, I good? What do you think?
In my opinion, Brother Moses, the virus, our new norm, and we can really fight a battle where you can't see the enemy and in the right front of you. But I feel different because when it comes to this COVID, that's just how people go. You go by yourself when you die.
Mm-hmm.
And when I put on my uniform to go work, I don't care if I get killed during the line of duty, because this is my passion, this is what I do for my country. So there was a different feeling comparison with police working. The police don't have no fear to fight crime. But there's a fear for this COVID, because you go by yourself, boss. That's the sad reality.
All right then. I hope you call with a morning.
I hope so too, but I was.
All right.
But that's why I say enjoy the day and celebrate and stay safe,
All right then, respect.
Yeah, man.
All right, morning, David. We'll try fit you in. How is your audio? Okay, I'm not hearing you. Talk again. Okay, I'm not. All right, let me hear you again. Do you have on your mic? Because I'm not getting an audio from you, for sure. I'm seeing you, brother, but I'm not getting the audio from you. There's no audio coming from you. And your mic is on? Your mic is on. That is definitely kind of strange, because I'm not getting you. I'm not getting any audio at all from you. Let me just mention here that our telephone number is 6724770. We have David. He is here. We're not hearing him, and if you're not hearing David, it's like David is not here. So let me just try to work on that, my brother. I have to try to figure that out.
Right.
I hear you now.
All right.
All right.
I changed one thing. I changed one setting.
All right, great. Good morning, WB.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Hi, Mose. This is Sandra Coy. Mose, a couple of observations. Last night I listened in horror to a report on Channel 5. I don't know if you heard this. That the cause for reducing the time for withdrawal from the virus in the nighttime hours from 9 to 5 was reduced from 10 to 5, so you only have 7 hours of suppression now. Because the minister out in San Pedro requested this reduction. Because his constituents on San Pedro clamored against it to him, and their claim is that they were locked down first and they want to make money and Christmas is coming. And so he approached, my understanding is the Minister of Health, and got the adjustment. Isn't that the same thing you were talking about yesterday, Mose?
Yes.
We can't be running a situation where the political decisions are going to be made about a virus. For God's sake, it's a virus. The virus is not PUP, UDP, San Pedro, Belize. Look, shutting it down from curfew from 9 to 5 is not really going to, it's not what we want. But at least it's a measure. It's a measure. But you're going to know the adjusting measures as we go along according to the political demand. My question is, who is so powerful on San Pedro that their desires not responded to?
Well, it.
Because that's evidently what happened. Did you know about that?
I didn't see it on channel on channel 5, but you're absolutely right. The thing is that one. You and I spoke, and I told you that I am no fan of the 9 o'clock curfew. I think it's so inconsequential. But
exactly, but it's at least a measure, no?
But one would want to assume that there were a bunch of people, including medical experts, who are part of crafting these particular measures. So they took 2 weeks, did their due diligence, one would hope. The experts weighed in. And when you finally make one decision and you come to the public and you say this is a decision, it's immediately changed because there is a source of dissent. For me that shows like so you are just essentially going if I participated as a health professional and I gave my informed opinion on this, or a public health administrator, and I thought we had consensus, and you just quickly flip, then how do I trust the process after this? I think it might seem like a small matter, but it's rather significant.
It's a big matter, Mose. It's a big matter. Because who is so powerful? How did San Pedro become so powerful now that they can change the course of health decisions for a whole country, the remainder of a country? It's really alarming. In other words, somebody out there actually has the power to kill off the rest of the country if they so desire. This is very alarming. And do these people understand? Let's look what happened in Denmark. Denmark has exterminated, killed, annihilated, put to death 17 million plus mink animals. The population of Guatemala, the entire population of Guatemala is their mink population, and they decided to kill all of them because of the infection, and we don't even know the strain that entered that animal population. We don't. We are animals, so that other animal. We don't know the strain. It's that great delusion. It's that great political leaders. It's that grave. You see? It's really alarming. Which brings me to my second point. Not dealing with this corona, but part and parcel of leadership. Let me ask you something. Was it your understanding during the time when people were objecting to the port expansion under the terms it was taking place under, and the Scotia Bank and that amalgamation. Was it your understanding that there was a substantial amount of concern in this country about those two matters and the direction they were going in? Wasn't that your understanding?
It was more pronounced for the Scotiabank merger, but I would say with the people who I meet and on the ground, there is a lot of concern about both. But I believe at the level of the only one that you had various organizations weighing in was the matter of the Scotiabank. No, but there was I believe there was enough for people to know that there's a general level of serious concern about the implications for the banking sector. I don't think
in the impression there was a substantial amount of concern about the port.
Unfortunately,
the business sectors, but from the environmentalists, from the stevedore and the employment situation there, from the implications for fishing, you didn't get that understanding?
I think the environmentalists were a bit too quiet.
At the time?
Yes, they were too quiet.
Okay. Well, so that's your impression. My impression was that there was concern. I'm not saying people marshaled and went to object. No more. Given these two matters, yes, the People's United Party got 26 persons into the House. Yes, there were substantial margins, but I don't interpret that to be a mandate to go and do as you please against the concerns of a nation. I don't understand it to be that at all. And last night I heard a gentleman making such an objection. They got a mandate, but was it a mandate to go against these concerns of a nation? And he was speaking about the port. But I am adding in the bank too. There were these concerns expressed across this nation. So no, I didn't understand that to be a mandate to go and do as you please. That is not my understanding at all. Is that your understanding, Mo?
Well, unless I missed it, I didn't hear any of those two things in the various plans that they put forward. And the way it works is that if you got a mandate, the mandate was on those plans.
I was coming to that. I'm glad you brought that in. That was exactly what I was going to ask you. Was it written into their plans, which, by the way, were not a manifesto? Manifesto comes from the Latin mean declare. I declare this is what I shall do. Plan, I am planning to do this. I might change my plan down the road. So it's a completely different cat and dog thing. Yes, it wasn't in there. That's what I listened to some of them, not all of them, and I do not remember hearing them say in their economic plan that they were going to be implementing the Waterloo Port project, and which would entail, I hope they understand, throwing the current employees and the stevedores to the wind. I didn't hear that. Nor did I hear them say they were going to. As a matter of fact, no people were more opposed to the bank than the very administration I heard them say of the People's United Party talking on the matter. So I am glad you brought that up. So this is a concern mode. And my third point arises from that also. I don't know why you objected to them, but me, between the period 98 to 2008, I had a lot of criticism of the then ruling party, which was the People's United Party. Not because I wanted to move the People's United Party and put the United Democratic. I don't function like that at all. And from 2008 to 2020, I had a lot of criticism of the United Democratic Party's government. Not because I wanted to put in the PUP and move UDP. That again was not it. Why was I concerned most? I wanted good government. When you have bad government accumulates over time. Over time. So if you have bad government from 1998 to 2008, guarantee that bad government will move forward into the other period, and you're carrying extra baggage from the 1998 to 2008. So I am taken aback when I hear an intelligent person say that the People's United Party are in government with a clean slate. I don't know if that's what they are talking about, that all their wrongdoing has been erased and everybody's in love with them now, and that's not what happened. That's not what happened, man. Let's get realistic about government. We want good government. Isn't that what you want most? Good government?
Absolutely.
Isn't that what David wants? We all want good government. And you don't get good government by trying to wipe out a period of bad government, because it doesn't get wiped out. Go and ask the French and their revolution. What do you think that was all about? You think the bad government happened the year of the revolution? No. It has been happening for hundreds of years, and it reached a boiling point where there was a geographical crisis, bad harvest, bad everything. Everybody came to Paris, and that is what would bring the revolution. So I don't know about anybody else. I did a lot of work, getting spent a lot of money. As a matter of fact, I didn't start off calling the radio because I want to. I started calling up the radio because of the increase in the telephone cost in 2001. That's what started me. And of course, from there, just took off the corner life of its own. So we want good government, and good government doesn't come when you're going to tell us you're going to shut down the country from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the morning. Then you turn around and change that. And it sounds to me like San Pedro only wanted that change to socialize mode. To socialize. So the same thing you tell us is why you're shutting us down from 9 to 5 because we're socializing too much. But yet you then decide to hold off another hour so one little place in the country could socialize more. That's what sounds to me. Doesn't it sound to you like San Pedro wanted to socialize more?
I didn't see the story. I don't know what the argument is.
Try and find it. The minister spoke up. The minister of the Blue Economy and Aviation. It's he who did that. Anyway, Mose, bye-bye.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Corey. It's 7:34. This time check is brought to you by Grace Kennedy Blees Limited. David, too much headroom. All right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Mo side here, and we are now joined. I think with the area now, bro. Make a hear you?
Microphone check. 1, 2.
Yes, I.
Ricky?
Yeah. Ting the work. Ting the click. What
So Tuesday morning, I want to stir something in the pot early. First of all, I listened to the interview that Miss Coy listened to. But maybe I'm a selective hearing because I hear you talk about put the port on hold. Put the port. That's why I'm thinking. As you said, this is pandemic time and then I have time to do that. So I don't want to big up at least Mr. Pierce to hear that. Whether or not they change the thing from 10 to 9 that he's done that, I never hear that and I don't know that. But I certainly share the concern that we don't take the virus serious enough. On hold, for me, that's not an answer. On hold means that as soon as the smoke blow over and forget, we bring it back on the front page again. So I take them kind of comments there, although they're like kind of olive branch, but now olive branch, you got a lot of hole in it. I want to thank the people who come forward after affected by the press release and the press conference. I want to thank Oceana. I want to thank WWF. I want to thank the other people who mentioned that a lot of the things that they presented. Yesterday, Ms. Koyime, they asked who the Belizean presenter we did the presentation. And his name man, Mr. Alan Heredia. Alan Heredia, I'm the man who do the presentation here. And the presentation, a very old presentation, and not a current presentation. They try to use the same old thing for a long, long time and try to stone it in our face that night there. So all that I find very shocking. And so I want to thank them. If they say they put it on the back burner, I want to thank them. I'm sorry I had to take public pressure for making them do it. But that will be the apparatus of the day from now go forward. A lot of people may say that when I'm there, when UDP me there, that all of a sudden they make noise. I want to know when you me there. For never know I'm in the make nice fan then. I don't know kind of people, you know. I know people of this country. And just like Ms. Wade, and she agreed, and I'm glad they mentioned my name, that I want good governance. That's all I want. I don't care which people in a power, it bothers me less. Just do the job properly. Don't make me have to pressure, you know. Because I see the new products, they don't come out. Everybody get a product. Everybody made the cuss up about product. And I see Prado's out. Prado's on the park, I'm going to tell you me drive around the curve. No start off on the ballot foot. We got a country at risk. Man, we got a huge, gigantic mountain head of we. Coronavirus, they bring America to its knees. Then the average 1,000, 100,000 new infection a day. Every 3 days, then the double for we population. Every 3 days for we population. For the new president, they try beat masking in the head. They try beat social distancing in the I call it physical distance. That's social thing I don't understand.
You know incredible? For say video images of lines for food in United States of America.
States.
In the United States of America.
You get to the point where
wait, hold up.
Get enough.
Hold up. I don't know if people know. Listen. I don't like the drag down no video, but I want to drag down some video in case you know they say that I don't think that we didn't make it up. I don't want to go look for that for myself. In the United States, in Houston, Texas, bro.
All right.
In Houston, Texas.
I know the spot.
In Houston, Texas. You got long vehicle lines for food, bro.
All right.
And if you check the news, the news say if they, because you know they're gonna be quiet over stimulus. If they don't figure out the stimulus within the next week and a half, the starvation going on in the United States of America. You know they tell about
when America catch one cold, Belize catch our
pneumonia. They say.
All right. So what we are catching now?
Why?
Can we wait for a pill, you know?
You know, like
super pill.
People look for. I have, you know, me and you. We say it on here, and I imagine when you go off here and you talk to people over these months, you say, this thing ain't get better, you know. This thing ain't get better, you know. The bitterness not really come yet, you know. This thing ain't get better, you know. This thing is rough, you know. And people look for you after a while and wonder, what the heck you talk about? Well, listen. Check your American news and you want to say lines for food. We know they tell about you know the regular homeless situation when they would have soup kitchen and da 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 da. We did tell you about huge parking lots where you got vehicles back up the road.
Yes.
They try get some food. Not try get they try get food, B.
All right, that's states.
That's states.
And they send this and that country. Send this and that too. That's not what happens.
That's states.
Call a relative and check it out. That's not what happened.
Wow. Like whenever you feel like we they are the exaggerator and just to try overhype something, go the only Google thing right now. Go to your Google and Google people lining up for food. Krem, good morning, WB.
Moses, another quick comment with something that David said, or two things. First of all, Dave, am I understanding that somebody said that the Waterloo project is on hold?
Yes. Mr. Parent,
Yeah, I don't think you're hearing Dave because of how we are broadcasting, but he's saying
Not
that.
at all. Uh-huh.
Yeah, but he's saying that that's what Minister Perez said
Channel 7 News yesterday.
on Channel 7.
Perez.
On Channel
Yeah.
7, okay.
Oh, you mean the Minister of the Blue Economy?
Yes, on Channel
Yeah.
7.
I never heard that. No, that would have been a different part of the broadcast.
No, that was on a
The
different.
second I heard was dealing with the health.
It was on a different
Okay,
network.
okay.
He was on a different network.
Oh, now the next question is, the next observation is this. David, bringing in the U.S. is absolutely on the mark. The regions have to understand that Mr. Trump ain't going to go anywhere, you know. He may not be in the White House, but it's going to be a protracted struggle for power in the United States between the Trump faction of the Republicans and the government. And Mr. Biden is not going to emerge a strong president because the Democrats do not control the Senate. This is not FDR. This is not LBJ, what name? Johnson. These are not those two presidents who, because they had a solid Democratic backing, they were able to push through such phenomenal changes. That is not the situation. His intention will be good. He wants to correct the situation, but he has a weak political podium he's standing on. Don't you agree, Mo?
Yeah, well, they are hopeful that they will be able to prevail in the Georgia Senate runoffs. If they are unable to get those victories, then yeah,
I'm
he's.
not talking about that, Moses. I'm not talking about the cause. I am talking about Mr. Trump and the Republican
No, I was.
presence in the wider political arena.
I'm responding to the second part of your input just now about Biden being a weak president if he doesn't have the Senate behind him. He has an opportunity to have the Senate behind him if they prevail.
We're talking about the election,
Yeah,
the
that's-
upcoming situation
yes.
in Georgia.
That's what I was talking.
And
And
the
then
last thing I want to observe is this. Pardon?
I was going to say that I agree with your position that Donald Trump is going nowhere.
And it's going to make life a living hell. And my last observation is, if they do not straighten out that situation in the United States of poverty and homelessness and hunger, civil unrest will be an inevitable consequence. Bearing in mind that most Americans come out of experiences of just that kind of mess that led them to flee to the United States. That same kind of mess. And so it ain't going to go anywhere. Bye-bye.
All right, thanks. It's 7:44. Just to repeat, if you're just looking at us, if you're just joining us, we are back to broadcasting with Maud, our teammate, our co-worker, our colleague from the television, Krem Television, tested positive yesterday. And so he was one of our directors and one of the persons who works in the control room. So we had to do a bunch of stuff. I think we had to sanitize, and then we had to get our folks tested. And thankfully, nobody else has tested positive. But out of an abundance of caution, we've kind of, again, moved to make the crew even smaller. And I am now broadcasting remotely. It's not ideal, but we have to do what we have to do now, Brother Dave.
Yeah.
WB, good morning.
Yes, trying to get in.
You're there in, bro.
Yeah.
Turn on your radio or turn on your TV. Turn on your radio or turn on your TV.
Yeah, turning it down now.
Yes, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning with the area, bro. Go ahead.
More I think and I believe that education is important, number one, because I believe that we should go with the regards to the virus matter. We should have an educational program like we did with the ICGA, right? Where people can be educated. I think educating the public, the populace, the people of this nation is very important in every area at all. I think you people are doing a very good job in educating us on various matters. But I think with regards to this virus, we need a special educational committee like we did with the ICJ, right? And another matter was, I'm not saying, but forgiveness, in my opinion, is very, very important. Because when one does not forgive, one only affects him or herself, right? When we forgive, we really become free men or free women. The case of Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was in prison for 30 years, but he was a free person because he had forgiven his captors and he was free. They couldn't do nothing about that man, you know. And he came out and he practiced what he preached. And so I'm saying, if we want to get ahead, we must forgive. Thank you very much.
All right, my brother, give thanks. Again, we have our number available at 672-4770. That's the direct line. And unfortunately, once somebody is already on the phone, then we can't answer the next call when he come in. So that is just what we got going on. But David and I were just talking about the fact that if people are about to go hungry in America, what the implications are for us. And the contradiction is that simultaneously they busted some. Apparently, there's a trend now in America, and I think it happened in New York yesterday, over the weekend, where they have busted underground parties. So, like people were having parties in warehouses and that kind of stuff. So,
we have that too. We have a lot of underground party.
Yeah. I didn't hear the part about San Pedro wanting an extra hour. I actually thought
that neither.
I actually thought that the 9 o'clock, I was disgusted with it. I'm saying, if we want to make a statement, make a statement, because we need to communicate urgency. What we do has to have an element of a siren to it. You know, like when I remember when there was the tsunami, the first tsunami threat, or when there was this whole tsunami warning. You remember that some years ago? And I remember waking up in the middle of the night. We experienced the earthquake, and then after that, we started hearing these sirens. We didn't know what the heck the sirens meant, but the sirens gave you a sense that, well, something is not right, because you don't normally hear sirens. So I look on the whole curfew. I agree with those who say, listen, the virus is going around at day 2. Absolutely. Most of the transmission, I believe, it's happening in the day. But one of the benefits of having the curfew is that it's kind of like a siren. It says no longer business as usual. No longer business as usual. We have to figure out how to communicate that message effectively across. And if you say it's 9 and then somebody says, no, I need an extra hour for drinking a couple more beers. I need at least one more hour for my sanity. Okay. So then how when Dave want an extra hour for certain things, and how when I need one extra hour for so don't joke. We have to make we yes be yes and we no be no. That's how I see it. We yes that yes and we know that no. And if you come out and you tell people it's 9, have people say, well, sorry, you missed the boat. We should make that input before, but this decision is based on consultation. We have our professionals, and their guidance represents what we have here. We can't just frivolously, randomly just say, oh, all right, I want to change that. So you never make that. This, I would hope that the measures were not made while somebody was, in the comfort of the house just to sit down and watch. We can write up some measures. One would hope that measures trying to deal with something like this reflects broad input, especially from the professionals, especially from the people who have been trained, public health people, both those who are on the front line now and maybe even retired personnel. And when you have brought in their collective input and brought in there and you have tapped into their reservoir of wisdom and experiences, that is supposed to be something that is made of firm material. It's not supposed to be rubber. It has to be metal, because you come to the people and you say, this is what we're going to do. If you had initially said 10, then let the 10 be 10. When they said, I had all intention of when they said 9 to say, reel up about the 9. I don't like the 9. I don't think it's sending a loud enough message of urgency. Make we do 7. Then I feel like the project seriousness. Yeah. But then you don't even stick to 9.
My leaks and upsets already happen right now. No, I don't like all this. I think we try make everybody win. You want the man on the boat, the boaters win. No, then they get so brave, they want to kick the soul out of the village. These type of behavior will start leading some. I don't sound like Nostradamus, but the same is you just tell you. The same thing that happened for the country, If we don't have an economic plan for help us guide us through this COVID disaster, we have a problem. If you notice, right now we're at the highest infection rate ever. That today will be the highest infection rate ever. But in at the height of the highest infection rate ever, you've canceled the pantry program, or what you want to call it, the food basket. That's what you say I name it. And you cancel the leave for $75 where the man can't get a job, where the economy bad, they cancel that. We've heard nothing about what they are doing.
I can take this call.
Hello?
Yeah, Krim, good morning, WB.
Good morning, Brother Moses, and good morning, David.
Morning.
Yes, Brother Moses. Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Brother Moses, very powerful conversation, as always, indeed. Both you and Miss Sandra are right. The Democrats are hoping to gain the 2 seats that are up for grabs in Georgia in the runoff elections. I think it'll be in January sometime. However, as Ms. Sandra said, that even though Donald Trump will be out, the man won't really be out. As a matter of fact, right now there's talk of him coming back in 4 years' time. And in the interim, he's already making plans to buy a radio and television station. So you know that what that will be. He will continue to preach that he was scammed, that he was cheated, and he will have he will have this medium to project and can continue to spew those lies over the airwaves. Now, in terms of what is happening with coronavirus, in the corona situation in the United States, and especially the food lines, what you guys are seeing on TV is nothing compared to what is actually happening locally on the ground. For example, here in California, you have nurses who are protesting. You have nurses who are crying out on the streets. You have people who are crying because they are overwhelmed. Daily, you have protests of people, on the other hand, who want their restaurants to be open, because California usually seems to take the most stringent measures when it comes to lockdown and that kind of thing. So there is a lot happening here that people in the wider world are not seeing on television. locally. It's you really get the picture of what's happening. It's dire. And again, as you say, this is the most powerful country in the world, first world country. Um, they showed a situation where this gentleman from stateside had gone to Puerto Rico, and when he landed in Puerto Rico, he was told that he needs to put on his mask, and he attacked no less than a National Guard soldier, punched the guy in the face, and he was tackled, thrown to the ground, and then the police had to cart him away. But it's really crazy. Then on the other hand, you have the millionaire, like the billionaire, like the richest man in the world, Jeff Bezos. It was reported that since the lockdown, since March and up to last week Friday, he made $70 billion. $70 billion. People like Uber Eats and all those kind of businesses are doing excellent in terms of raking in the dough. So the people who can run their business without having you coming to their big box store and all of that, we also have business like Walmart as well. They're doing pretty well because they're following the Amazon model right now. If you go on an Amazon site and you try to purchase something and you go on the Walmart site, you will see that most of the stuff that Walmart is selling, Amazon is selling, Walmart have them as well, and the prices are parallel. So overall, though, the situation here is crazy modes, and right now hospitals across the United States are up to 93%. The beds are 93% occupied. So Belizeans need to tighten up. We still have a good country. People just have to try to cooperate and if there's anything good about this virus, if there's anything good about the virus, whether you're a rich man, poor man, bigger man, thief, whomever you are, everyone just need to practice the distancing, the good hygiene, and wearing a mask. What is so hard about that? That is what we have in our favor, all of us. We just need to practice those things along with some other common sense measures, and this is the way we stave off this scourge. But people don't want to listen. People want to have their way, and I know that we all need to live and all of that, but still, man, come on. We have to care for each other. What you're seeing, again, Belizeans, are not the true picture. Not the true picture at all. People are dying, and they are saying it's going to get worse. I just want to leave everyone with this, Brother Moon. I listened to a gentleman on KPCC one night. He was saying that, yes, people will do what they want, and they will celebrate Thanksgiving, and then they will go to funerals for Christmas. And then they will do what they want again for Christmas, and then for New Year's, they will be going to a lot of funerals. So with that, I will say thank you, and you guys continue to be safe and have a wonderful day. Thanks, gentlemen.
All right. Thank you very much. We got to take a break. It's 8 o'clock inside the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. We're going to take a break and come back with you. It's myself and the troublemaker himself, David Almendares, till 9.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, bro. Five, four, three, two, one. All right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Believes Morning Vibes. Mosad in the house, David Almendaris. And yes, we are broadcasting remotely. Well, David, you've been doing remote all along. I was actually
Yep.
enjoying being in the studio, but I think we'd have to go back to a bit of this remote stuff for a bit. It's getting tough. The telephone line where we can be reached is at 6724770. That is the direct line for you to get in on the conversation. We want to hear from you. As always, the show is that much better, that much nicer, and we're also available on various YouTube channels, Facebook channels as well. So we're streamed. So that's multiple ways you can get us. Yeah, somebody very dear to me messaged and said, we like every morning when we are dealing with this, like sometimes they have to turn off the show because the burden or the weight of all the warnings and the I get it. I get it. It's heavy. It's heavy. But I don't know. I don't know if we cannot speak the reality. I don't know. I don't want to cause people to be experiencing mental distress over and over and over and over and over, because we have to amplify our message in a way to reach the areas where people are not responding and people are not understanding. If we it's like how do we do that? How do we find that balance? It's tough because and I think it's fair. I think if there's a morning that you don't want to do that, like just like for me, I tend to wait until early in the morning, like around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning before I go and I read the news. It's a part of my coping mechanism, and that has been me for a while. That I try to find something light in the evenings when I did have a little time in the evening to maybe check something out or watch some kind of scary movie or something. But but I know I have for several years now not watched the news. I read the news, and I do it in the morning. I don't do it in the evening because I found that it affected the quality of my rest, because just before I would try to go to sleep, like all this heavy stuff is on me. So I am prepared to start the day with that energy, but I try not to end the day with that energy. That doesn't work all the time because you're getting phone calls, you're getting messages, and you're still plugged in to some extent. But I understand coping. I understand that we find ways to cope. I don't think it's any. But we who are here in this space, we can't try to cope while doing what we have a responsibility to do. We can't come here, and I believe if we have a sense, if I had a sense that is why I spoke. I don't even want to. That is why I think I was kind of so. I might have given a bit of a over optimistic view on vaccinations, for example, because the minute I read something that is, I believe, or we learn something which is good, like it's good vibes, then I want to come forward and tell the people, say, yeah, well, listen, this is not going to be forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. There is some end in sight. And I wanted to give that. But then I really now have to try to walk back from that a bit, because I was thinking more April, but realistically speaking, cost-wise, I checked the costs. The vaccination that is going to be the one for the rest of the people, they're not the American vaccinations. It's going to be the vaccination that was done by the one in Oxford, and I forgot the name of the private company that they worked with, the University of Oxford. That is going to be the vaccination because of various things. Why that's going to be the one that we use is going to be about $20 US a pop for one, and you have to get two. And that's also the one that has the lower efficacy. But that is the one that is more than likely going to be distributed to the people where they're on the bottom of the planet. Then the one where we just say on news every night, then one they don't line up for the rich nations. So even in the whole vaccination process, the planet
Germany have one that come out too, no?
I don't know about that, but I'm saying here that do I rush to come and say, man, not get too hopeful for the vaccinations. That one being wild. That one costs we money. We have to get the money, forget it. And we have to figure out distribution. And even the Americans, they said that not till about June that everybody will want a vaccination and could get a vaccination. So that pushed me back some more. Do I want to say that? Because that is not good news. That is kind of like saying, listen, 2021. So
Feel like
so I what I'm saying is that I have to tell people, it's not trying to burden people, but we have a responsibility to say what it is we are faced with and what the possibilities are if we don't act, and why we need a plan. I don't want to be guilty of what I think our leaders are guilty of many times, where they don't truth tell. They don't say, they only truth tell according to when it helps their cause, their image. Whoa, the government maxed out the credit card, the government spent all the money, the government did all of that. But no government says, listen, we didn't get in here. We broke. Yes, the former prime minister said, well, he's sorry for his successor. At that point in time, he was signing out. He signed out. If you ask me, he signed out around February. He signed out. He was just holding the seat over, but he signed out. So if he was comfortable in saying certain things, I prefer somebody tell me where we at. I'm an adult. I want to know where I'm at. I want to know what my real is, because then I don't want to be, they say the punch that knocks out a person is a punch they didn't see coming. That's what they say in boxing, that the punch that knocks you out is not the punch that you saw coming, it's the punch that you did not see. And I don't want a punch that I don't see coming to hit me. So I don't want that to be the case with people. So we want you to be prepared. Now, if I come in and tell you, guess what? This thing will be all right, you know. Eventually, and see this thing start to go down. Eventually, and say among the people where they dead, want to stop dead. This always going on. I just want to leave a anomaly, this sleep bump, and everything will be good. And I feel like by January we will get some tools to come and for the US dollars and make things percolate and boop 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 boop, and I believe that by February we will have cruise ships. You want me to tell you that? I can tell you that, or I can come here and talk about give me a recipe for turkey and give me a recipe for black cake, and I can come and talk about that. But that would be in my mind it would be abandonment of duty and responsibility. So I don't mind if somebody gets up in the morning and says, yo, I don't want to hear Moses and David this morning. I don't want no reel this morning. I could get that. I could get that. I could perfectly understand that. I don't want no real this morning. Make I hear about black cake this morning. Make I hear about how to do a rib, how to wrap one gift this morning. Cool. No problem. But I can't come here in the morning and talk about black cake, B. I can't come here in the morning and talk about black cake. I love black cake though.
You put it out there.
Yes.
And then the point most.
We could take the call, B. Krem, good morning. All right, we lost the call. Go ahead, bro.
At that point in our life, we have to be real. We have to be adults to ourselves. We that are tough. You know something? There are some people who depend on other people in their life. I don't worry about this because my husband, my wife, and take care of it. We can't give it that mentality. The vaccine is good, but the ultimate protection of yourself that stick to the protocol. Wear a mask, physical distance, not to mingle in a places you don't have to. That's the quickest, fastest, easiest way to stop the disease. Cheapest way to stop the disease. But we still say underground parties. We still say people don't wear their mask properly. And we still say new infections. And the raise, not like people they say, bye, they get rough, make his hot bunker down. In the raise, I know you did at Toledo, no, you did at Cayo, places where they never hear about it first, they get over 10 infections a day. So we need to make a public outcry that whatever we they do, not the work. It not the work. All the preaching what they tell you, it not the work. Because the rates keep going up. Every day we're higher than the day before. We don't start saying we're not condemn for them. Remember the talk about a peak, we stop talking about the peak because we decide to build a skyscraper top of the peak, we don't condemn for them. We need to take this thing serious, man. And you notice this is our thing where you're in a leadership position, in a downstairs position, in a middle position, in any position. You don't discriminate who you. And you're not tougher than it. So we don't want to burden ourselves. We take simple protection. Not go nowhere, I don't have to. When I go to the store, I pop in and I pop out. I put on my mask. If somebody side of me and I figure they're not the point, they don't can nowadays even the physical distance nowadays remind them, sir, you need to stay there. I say at least mark over there, we need to keep with the physical distance. Because the virus travels like that. And the more and more people get infected, the more and more will hurt yourself. Our economy crippled. We don't have nothing more plan for the regular folks yet. We have what we stop though, but we don't have what we are do yet. So we have to take care of oneself. And here for preach it, we have to start about how we are feed ourselves. Go check the shelf then. Go check the shelf then in the shop. A lot of things you used to go get, you can't get no more. It'll get tight. We need to do a drastic change. Like Mr. Sandra saying, in 30 days, we will have this thing turned wrong. If we take self, but we took careless, man. I still listen to party moves. Facebook is a terrible thing, you know.
But
I don't know
about it, you know. And
a bad thing when you can't keep secret to good. And the boss out picture with balloon, a picture with rum, a picture with this, and underground things are happening. You have to be but this our time. But the fittest are survive, you know. And if you lamp up too much, you will cause a lot of problems in your life you don't need. Take the advice serious. I know I sound like a granny, I know I sound like a grandpa, I know too. I remember my own daughter said, Dad, we're going to start talk and this and that. But sometimes you know, we don't the type of friend we're fake. We don't the type of friend we don't do fool, we'll laugh with you and tell you you're alright. We'll make you know you do fool. If you want the fake friend then, tune into the other guys. Another thing I want to tell these and to be very careful. And some of the media houses will listen to because they fabricate the news and they water down the news. Then they keep it a kind of way so it's productive to them. We got a media house that believes I notice now very selective with how you give you news. Very selective lately. Owned by a very rich man. And I stopped watching it because it's too selective for me now. Very selective news. Be careful how they manipulate you with psychological news. Keep it real. Tune into the real radio station and keep it real with you. We don't fake it. We don't scripted. We don't got no agenda.
I don't have a problem if, like I said, David, I don't got a problem if somebody again wants something on the lighter side, they could go and find it because there's a lot of that.
Dora the show too, they go watch Dora on the internet, they go on like. I mean that they want to go pan.
But we want to make sure that anytime somebody land here, that we remind them we power there and what we need to do to get to power we want to get. And then maybe if we do all these right things, then we could, if we do all these right things, maybe we can actually have, we could actually have one Easter where you could go to Placencia, you could go to Kikaka, you could go to San Pedro, you could go
on. New Year's if we serious. If we serious, we go on New Year's, but they have a serious. We got a whole month now.
That one tall order.
Start today. 30-day challenge.
I don't know about the New Year's. I make people understand that like the caller is right. We can have a great Christmas and then a lot of funerals in January. And I also want to put this and I also want to put this out there. I want to encourage the political parties to have a conversation now. Are we going to pay a price and then on March, first Wednesday, I believe in March of 2021, we do this all over again? Have we, because that's the day for the municipal elections of 2021.
You know what price we pay right now? We pay a general election price.
So the question is, are we going to wait until February to have that conversation? Because if we are going to have the municipal elections, are we going to have it the same way as we have had it? Like, you can't wait till the appointed time, the 11th hour, to start to plan. If it is that the parties say we have to have the elections, and they have that conversation and say, first Wednesday in March, make we have the municipal elections. Okay, if that is so big a thing, cool. How are we going to do it differently? Have we examined what went wrong with November 11th? Has anybody come forward? Has the election and boundaries people come out to say, listen, we thought so and so. Our government, have you looked at November 11th and realized November the 11th was not done properly? November 11th has cost us lives and will continue to cost us lives. What are we going to do about the first Wednesday in March? We cannot neglect confronting the challenges in our midst. That is the definition of being an ostrich. We can't. It's not a pretty time. It's not a pretty time on the planet. And an incredible stat came out in an article I checked yesterday, I think it was, where they're saying that more women committed suicide in Japan over the past month than died from coronavirus. But ultimately they committed suicide because of the stress of the coronavirus and the impact of the virus restrictions. So I perfectly understand the wear and tear on our mental well-being that is caused by this pandemic. Without you even get it, your mind stress. The insecurity and the uncertainty of our finances, they mash you up. People have to try to figure out from month to month, how do I stay in my house? How do I keep my house? How do I keep in the house in case you're renting? We know that so many of our people are facing this. This is our reality. This is a universal mounting on the mental state of human beings across the planet. That's what's going on, and Belize is no different. But the only way for us to get to the other side of the river, we have to paddle. And we have for paddle B. Krem, good morning, WB. Krem, good morning, WB. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Can I go live on the crime or
You are live on the air, sir.
live on the air? Okay.
Sir, listen to us on the phone. Turn down your radio and your TV, and you are live on the air.
Talking to you. Hello? Good
Yes.
morning. Moz. Good morning, Moz.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Moz. Moz, I have a concern here. I have some things that I would like that people understand and the family members of all the police defense force take into note. Yeah, I would like that all the family members of the BDS be concerned about. We understand that we have some members of the force somewhere in some lagoon area or some kids. And I think one of them are immediately or under the stress of this COVID feeling, no? And according to the information received that the BDF says that they have no money, no gas or whatever for get the people them across. The next thing I'd like for the government to take note is the benevolent funds from the BDF. Where is that money going? Who is taking care of it? And the other thing is that we need to have people who are responsible, because I understand from some members of the BDF that in Central Farm, the BDF is in shambles. The toilets, the lights, the food. Remember, these are the forces that protect us the most. And we need good protect for them. I admire Mr. Chester when it comes to the immediate emergency of his police officers. Where is our Brigadier General? What is he doing? You know? These are things I want you to look around about our stance.
All right, brother. This is WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. On this 1st of December 2020, Mosai David Almendares with you, bringing you the conversation, even though it's in an altered format. We're broadcasting remotely. Our telephone number 672-4770. We'll be back after a word from our advertisers. Five, four, three, two, one. Welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. And our telephone number is 672-4770. Me headphone at the buck up. Talk to me, David. Talk to me.
Yeah.
That's right.
So my thing is, I don't know. We have to
Be careful,
No,
you're not allowed for sneeze.
Another sneeze. You can't catch corona through internet or nothing. No yet.
No. But I'm just saying, like, I've been like in a public setting and feel the need for sneeze and then become so self-conscious about the fact that, you know what, I don't think I really want to sneeze.
You hold it in.
Yes.
You hold it in. Man and fella. That's how you get. Yeah. But guys, without
Go on,
the point
Carl.
right now, no.
Krem, good morning, WB.
Yes, good morning, Mose and David.
David.
Mose and David. Good morning. Hello?
Yes, we're hearing you.
I was listening.
We're hearing you. Listen to us in the phone and not on your radio or your TV.
Okay, good morning. I have a great concern. I'm calling from Kurzal. This month, the month of December, is pensioners and senior citizens going and fighting for their pensions. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So my concern is that whenever you go there, there is only one line for all pensioners or whosoever going and go for benefits from the Social Security. So if you are, if the government or other institutions are concerned of senior citizens' life health, why is it that there is only one line for everyone to catch to go into that office?
Yeah, I think that they can make special considerations for senior citizens. Absolutely. I know normally you have a line for senior citizens inside, but now that you have the pandemic measures, you are saying that it's just one long line?
Yes, I personally called yesterday and they told me there's only one line. There is no preference for senior citizens to go in.
Yeah. I think wherever and whenever we can make special accommodations right now, especially for senior citizens, we have to.
Well, I hope they do so because then, as I said, I called in because I'm a senior citizen and it was my concern how to go in there. And that's the reason why I called before I go there and they told me that only one line, no special preference for no one.
All right. I support the need to have a preferential approach for senior citizens because of the risk that is before them. So I support you on that, sister.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right.
Next call?
No, go ahead.
Yeah. We like I said, Mose, I don't want people to call we profiteers or anything like that, but we don't know kind of Nostradamus. But we did that some spot right now. This is not powder puff time. This is not ice cream song. This is the real song. And if you're not into the real song, get ready for the real punishment. But then at a point right now where after every celebration time, you see one spike in the cases. If you want to talk about other things, Corona will still come back at you. Because this is the number one top burner that ain't going away. It's here to stay unless we fix it kind of problem. We really have to emphasize that we fix it. I'm a positive guy and we could fix this. Just make us change our behavior. We shouldn't need the policeman for the run we down to tell we wear a mask properly.
All right. Krem, good morning, WB.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, with all the corona tests, I was wondering, is there any other way to take the corona test other than to push that thing through your nostril? Are there any other types of ways to take a corona test?
That is the way
apart
to
from
take a
that way?
corona. That's the way you take a corona test, bro.
That is the
Tough
only
luck.
way.
Yeah, there's no blood test. There's just that long thing down your nostrils. You see,
Alright,
you have taken it already?
No, I have not. But with all the stuff that's going on, I'm considering
You got any symptoms?
taking a
You-
corona test.
You're afraid for that. You're afraid for that thing down your nose. Make it be real.
Yeah, of course, that'll be reality, man. I don't want to push that thing up my nose, and I feel like
I don't blame you, Papa. I feel you.
that's like give me the virus.
All right, I hear you.
If not,
Respect. The man honest.
I start the same way too. That's why I try to stay safe, man, because I don't feel that thing to go up my nose, boy. Jesus.
All right, finish off your statement, brother. Mr.
No,
Real
I want to
Son.
emphasize to my brothers and sisters, man. This is not a political thing. This is not a hate nobody thing. This is a make you protect yourself thing. Protect you. Protect your family. Protect the elderly. Make we try. We don't need no policeman for the run we down for our mask on properly. We shouldn't need a policeman for to emphasize no physical distance. We shouldn't need a policeman to tell you you're not for have no simple party right now. If we continue the road to go, more people are get sick. Make we try toughen up, buckle up. 30 days. I make we see what happen. I know, I feel like I talk to deaf ears, but I try to tell you it's important. If you don't want the tourism come back, if you don't want the agriculture come back, we don't want the working thing come back, we don't want anything close to normal, we have to better our behavior. We have to be more serious. We have to wear a mask properly. We have to stop the not a gathering when unnecessary. It's important. Your life depends on it. Maybe your granny life or elderly life or somebody sick in your family life depend on it.
Yes. Good morning, WB.
Good morning again, Brother Mose and David. Very, very quickly, Brother Mose. I did the CPR test. I was given a swab. I swabbed the inside of my cheek. I put the thing in the vial. And so I don't know why this is so widely used, this shove up the nose kind of thing. It's also swabbing up the cheek. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Respect.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Dave, I know you have to leave, so we are going to go to a final break. As always, thanks. If health and strength be with us tomorrow, we link again tomorrow morning.
My pleasure, definitely. My pleasure to talk to my countrymen. And please, don't take this as no me to fight no government. I try, just like Mr. Cole said, we want a better country, regardless of who they in. We want people who love the country. We want to focus more on this corona thing. I want to focus on how we help the tour guides, help the people who have been displaced. We don't got no money. Figure it out how to not help. We don't say, if we win, make we win. Don't know, I hate thing. Please don't think I hate, I applaud for put back the Waterloo. And I wish them do the same thing with the bank. Listen to it. Thank you for no time.
All right, we take a final
Respect
break.
the crew.
We take a final break and come back and then wrap. All right, so my audio wasn't on. Forgive me, my audio was not on. I think it's on now. I was just wrapping up. I wanted to acknowledge the crew. Tony G. Grant at Creme Radio and at Creme Television, Miss Jada Anderson. Belizeans, we hope we appreciate what confronts us and what our response needs to be. So keep washing your hands, keep wearing your masks properly, keep apart. Sad as it is, we have to keep apart. Stand strong, stand firm, stay safe. For now, we're gone.